I think a second referendum is more likely than no deal. Yes, no deal could happen accidentally, but I think there is such a determination amongst the 5/6 of parliamentarians who backed the Remain campaign back in 2016 that they feel they've got the political cover to stand up for the 48% as it was then in 2016, maybe it's 52, 53% today, for whom leaving the EU is bad enough, but leaving the EU with no deal will be seen as a dereliction of duty. So my estimation is still some version of Theresa May's deal, probably first choice, or first most likely. Second most likely would be a second referendum, and third no deal. I think the EU side has managed to hold itself together around a negotiating position for a negotiated exit, a negotiated Brexit. It would be very difficult for the EU to hold itself together around a position that led to the UK's departure from the EU on a no-deal basis, especially if there was the slightest indication that somehow EU intransigence could be given as one of the reasons for why this had happened. The EU is as committed as, I would say, Theresa May and key members of the government to sustain a very effective relationship with the United Kingdom after Brexit actually formally takes place. If you have a no-deal exit, even with a 6-month sort of preparation period or something, so it's not just dropping off a cliff edge, even with that amount of time, the result for the future relationship between the UK and the EU would be very negative. And that's just one more problem the EU could certainly do without. Well, you know, we've got a two-phase stage here. If some version of Theresa May's deal goes through, or quite simply Britain leaves the EU with a withdrawal agreement, but a negotiation still to take place, we are going to enter a 2 to 4 year period. It might be quicker than people expect. It might only be 2 years, but it will still be a good 2 to 4 years of what the future relationship is. Is it a single market connected Norway type relationship? Is it more of a free trade agreement with some extra bits and pieces connected to it? All of that remains to be negotiated. So the essence of the UK-EU relationship after Britain leaves, which is why it's crazy that we're talking right now simply about how we leave, the next stage of the negotiation will be what is the future relationship. What is critical, I think, is to avoid the next 2 years being a further 2 years of debate and argument within the British Parliament. Because the EU will just sit there for longer going, well, when you're ready, come and talk to us. Investors will look beyond the United Kingdom. Investment won't take place in the United Kingdom. We'll just have 2 to 4 years more uncertainty. So a critical element of this very uncertain period now, where Theresa May appears to have lost control over the process, is whether a better sense of what the future relationship the UK is looking for starts to emerge.